What is the scariest movie of all time? That is a big question that so many people have asked. So many Reddit forums, so many posts online, so many YouTube videos about it. What really is it? Is it The Exorcist? Is it Hereditary? Is it Psycho? I'm telling you guys right now, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my entire life is Sinister. And I want to break it down for you guys in this video. So let's get into it, guys. First of all, this is a movie that for so long I'd always wanted to fucking see. I love horror a lot, but like I said, I only been a horror fan for the last couple years. So before that part, before 2021 really, in 2021 is when I really started watching horror. But before that, I was super scared of this shit. I couldn't even watch like Halloween, you know. Probably would have fucking freaked out. But the horror genre to me, guys, it's so fascinating. It's honestly probably my favorite fucking genre because it's really the genre that has no rules. You know, it's the only genre that you could really just do crazy shit and it's part of it still, you know. It's, you don't have to go by rules or these certain like, you know, guidelines that other movies have, you know. That's what I love about this genre. It's so unpredictable, and because of that you can get amazing movies out of it. So, you know, Sinister was a movie, like I said, I had seen the trailer for this movie and I thought like, it was so interesting. You know, this guy goes into this, buys this fucking house and he goes up to his basement, he finds all these tapes and it's like, yo, like this shit's fucking crazy. And seeing the trailer for the first time, I was like, you know what, I know at some point I'm gonna see this movie just because it really intrigued me that much. So seeing this for the first time was truly like an experience, you know. Right off the bat, like the opening shot is so fucking disturbing, bro. Like this I literally do, when I saw this shit, I was not expecting that. I thought some shit was gonna fucking pop out of the fucking screen, bro. Like you see this family just getting hung up and shit, and it's like, oh my god, dude. Like right away, like I've seen a lot of horror movies, you know, there's a lot of great openings. There's obviously the Scream, the first Scream's fucking awesome, and what else, dude? Fuck, I mean, there's so many classics, you know, that's besides the point, you know. Just this opening shot, this opening moment right here, you see this family getting hung up on the tree. It sets the tone for what you're about to watch. Like you're going into this movie like holy shit, you're gonna be in for some fucked up shit. And you know, Ethan Hawke, you know, I love Ethan Hawke, man. This guy's I mean, Dead Poet Society, fucking Training Day, Boyhood. I mean, dude, the guy doesn't miss, guys. This guy is a fucking legend for a reason. But I was one of the reasons why I see this movie. Also, just Ethan Hawke in this movie. He's so great in this movie. But we'll kind of get into that more later. But just the whole premise of the movie. The fact this guy's Ethan Hawke, his character is like an author, and he's kind of like trying to get the next high. You know, he's really wanting to find the next big story that's gonna really shoot him again to superstar. I mean, because in the past, you know, he's been famous before. He's been a famous writer, but he's kind of been on the decline lately. So he's really trying to find like that next story, that next book that's gonna really like shoot him up to the fucking stars, right? So the fact that, first of all, the fact that this guy bought a fucking house that was already haunted just so he could write a fucking story about it, you can see it as dedication to his craft, or you can see it as him being a fucking psycho. But that's the beauty of this movie, you know. This movie is fucking crazy, guys. I mean, first off, we're gonna get straight to like the main part and what makes the movie so creepy. The fucking tapes, the basement tapes. When this guy goes into his fucking basement, he starts playing these fucking reels, dude. It is so disturbing. Like each one gets more and more disturbing. Also, there's obviously the pool party one. It's super fucking creepy. I mean, this is why, like, what I was saying earlier, that horror has no rules, because literally, like, we're basically seeing like fucking snuff films and this little mini snuff films in this fucking movie, you know. Scott Derrickson, bro, this guy is so fucking incredible. I mean, this guy's really like, I think it was the first Blumhouse movie also too. It's kind of crazy. So I feel like, you know, the snuff films in these movies, the way that they're filmed, they're so well shot and they are filmed to fucking disturb you. And it's the lighting that they use, it's the fucking just the sound design, of course, in this movie is fucking incredible. I mean, once he starts playing his tapes, you just hear the film kind of in the background, that sound, you know, and you kind of just get that eerie music. And there's so many fucking tapes in this movie that are so disturbing. Especially the one where like, you see like the dog barking in that little shower, the dog's barking, and he's kind of like, the camera's walking around the night, and you kind of just see like, it pans over to like the fucking dead kid's face and shit. Like, it's fucking creepy. There's a lot of them. I might have said that last scene wrong. I don't even, you know, I haven't seen this movie in a while, low key, so my bad if my memory's kind of foggy. But one thing I did not fucking forget is that fucking goddamn lawnmower scene, guys. I mean, first of all, this is one of the greatest jump scares of all time. I feel like, you know, there's definitely some jump scares movies that are super cheesy, you know, but for the most part, this was like a really good one because you don't really expect it, you know, and the fact that it's so dark, it just looks fucking eerie. Like, you just know like some shit's gonna fucking pop out of nowhere. Boom, it just pops out right in front of you. For a split second, you see it. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, this movie is so fucking disturbing. And you kind of see how the story progresses. Like, Ethan Hawke's character gets more and more like over the edge. You know, this guy's not sleeping as much. He's really just getting obsessed. He starts contacting this other fucking like historian that like knows about the lore of this fucking demon. You know, Bogul is truly terrifying. You know, and rightfully so. You know, the guy looks fucking creepy, but again, you know, this movie is super great. There's only a few complaints I have about it. I think like there's this one jump scare where he kind of looks out the window and you kind of see like Bogul pop out real quick, and some of the stuff's kind of cheap, especially that very last jump scare at the very end. Super cheesy, and it's kind of a little corny, but you know what? It doesn't ruin the movie for me. And there's a lot of jump scares like that. There's a lot of moments, particularly the whole little like creepy girl scene where he's kind of walking around the house, all these little ghost kids. I can see that definitely putting off people. You know, it's very just like, how is that even scary, right? You kind of go from the super snuff film to kind of like, oh, just creepy little kids walking around the dark house. And speaking of dark house, you know, there's a lot of scenes in this movie, guys, where you can't even see like what's going on. The scenes are so dark in this movie. Like, dude, it's pitch black in this movie. You watch this shit in a dark room, you're gonna be fucking creeped out, because it's literally like if you're in that fucking room with him. You know, it's literally like if you're in the room with Ethan Hawke himself. Like, I don't even know how they shot this movie. You know, it was super. A lot of these scenes are super dark, but I think it adds to the eeriness of it. But you know, like I said, you know, this movie's super great, and you know, it definitely didn't like traumatize me much as it did. I know there's a lot of reports, you know, especially I know this movie particularly. You know, there's a lot of videos and blogs like, oh, this movie is technically, scientifically, it's the most scariest movie of all time. It's the one that raised people's heart rates up the most. But from somebody who, for the most part, I couldn't watch The Conjuring. I couldn't watch any crazy fucking movie. For the most part, I was super just scared of everything. Over the years, you build up, once you kind of start watching horror more and more, you build up a tolerance for it. And I feel like if you definitely build up a tolerance for a little bit, this movie won't scare you as much. But I totally understand, like, if you have not watched horror at all, or you barely watch it and you watch this shit, you're gonna get traumatized. It is very disturbing, and it was obviously directed that way. It was meant to be. So I feel like Scott Derrickson, you know, give him a lot of credit. You know, for the first Blumhouse movie, I feel like it definitely set the tone for like the future Blumhouse movies. There's obviously some Blumhouse movies that have been good, some that haven't, but you guys get the point. You know, this is the beginning of all of that. So I want to get to a little bit of spoilers at this point. You know, obviously the third part of this movie, the third act, definitely I was super on edge. You know, you kind of think that there's like that sigh of relief. You know, he finally kind of had enough, and he burns the tapes outside his house. You think they're kind of clear, but then once you find out that like the little daughter of his is possessed, also Bogul's already in there, it's like, oh my god, dude. Like, dude, I'm recording this video at night, guys. I'm literally looking outside my fucking window right now, dude. Holy shit, guys, this movie is so disturbing. It's creeping me out, right? Just even talking about this shit is really creeping me out right now. But obviously the whole ending scene where you see the little girl killing everybody, the whole family, it's super fucking dark. It's like you really see like the despair in Ethan Hawke's face, like the fact this guy was willing to go this far. You know, it literally cost him his life. You know, the cop in this movie is also pretty funny. He's good. You know, there's a lot of funny moments with him, but I feel like, you know, for the most part, you know, Ethan Hawke really carries his movie. You know, just seeing him kind of slowly like go down this road, he's getting darker and darker into. He's getting so balls deep. He's really just like super into this fucking story. You know, he really becomes lost in it. You know, it's because of that it kind of ends his life. So definitely interesting. I do like the ending scenes where he's kind of walking with the kids. You know, there's a lot of people that have hot takes about this. People say it's kind of corny with the little ghost kids and all that. For me, you know, definitely doesn't ruin it for me, but I understand. You know, I feel like this movie really kept it like the same vibe that they did with the snuff films throughout the whole time. I think people would have not had as much complaints about it, but you know, overall, you know, Sinister truly is a terrifying fucking movie, and I thought I wasn't gonna sleep that night, but luckily I did sleep, so I don't really feel bad about it. I think this movie is a classic. I'm gonna give Sinister like an 84%. You know, really just a fun movie. You know, like I said, if you're not really like a horror person, honestly, probably will put it off just because I think it really is disturbing. But if you already have a tolerance for this shit, you already watch horror like I do, like you're gonna be alright. You're not gonna have sleepless nights, you know. But this movie is really scary. I mean, I would not want to watch this at 2 a.m. You know, fuck no. So give Scott Derrickson credit. You know, give this whole cast credit, guys. They really made a good movie, and when it came out in 2012, it still holds up really well. You know, and I really appreciate it. You know, and that's all I pretty much have to say for these guys for the most part. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
believe blowing up his phone, I know I'm tripping for no reason. He gon' call it crazy, but I say I call it fiending. He don't want no other hoes, cause that little shit too easy. No, I talk a